In science, there are numerous instances of persons who straddled the line between madness and genius. While scientists begin their research with the hope of making groundbreaking findings, they might become downright anxious if they don't. Some cruelly abuse their volunteers while others sacrifice their test subjects. The 10 crazy scientists on this list are each described along with the bold endeavors that made them famous or infamous. Number 10. Paracelsus. Ever wondered how you could create a man? Paracelsus was a botanist who thought there was a teeny-tiny, yet fully formed human inside every sperm. He even had a 40-day recipe to prove his idea, complete with instructions to make this venture successful. If you're keen on trying out Paracelsus's 40-day recipe on how to build a human, you'll need a warm incubation device and human blood. But if you succeed, you'll be the first because even Paracelsus couldn't pull it off. Number 9. Joseph Mengele. War is tough. But what's harder is what it reveals about the human condition in humanity. Joseph Mengele was a brilliant scientist whose power and influence during the Nazi era earned him an infamous reputation as the Angel of Death. As a scientist assigned to the Auschwitz camps during the Second World War, Mengele performed bizarre experiments with human subjects. Some core interests of the mad scientist bordered on examining connections between twins, eye pigmentation, and persons with disabilities. The insane reality of his experiments is that he forcefully used live prisoners as guinea pigs for his experiments. Number 8. Giovanni Aldini. As far as celebrity scientists go, Giovanni Aldini was a rock star with global fame. At a time when electricity was still a new invention, Aldini traveled across Europe with the sole purpose of electrifying subjects. This may sound horrific, and it was, but it was all in pursuit of science. Aldini became an entertainer who gave audiences the rare spectacle of witnessing what happens when corpses are electrocuted. Aldini would attach electric nodes to observe how the body reacts. When attached to a human or ox head, the facial muscles would contort, teeth would chatter, and even eye sockets would pop out. The limbs and parts moved in motion. Yet, besides his antics, Aldini was one of the few scientists who managed to cure mentally ill patients with shocks to the brain. Number 7. William Buckland. William Buckland is as mad a scientist as they come. On the one hand, he was the brilliant scientist who walked beside Charles Darwin. He is also famous as the man who could eat anything. According to his records, the most unpalatable things he ever tasted were the mole and bluebottle fly. One famous story about Buckland is that he was once a guest at a fancy dinner where the mummified heart of Louis XI was on display. He became the mad scientist that ate the heart of a king. Number 6. Sidney Gottlieb. Sidney Gottlieb is a lunatic who is to blame for the CIA's pursuit of mind control. Gottlieb participated in some of the most sinister experiments in recent memory while working as a chemist for the US CIA. Cocaine, THC, heroin, LSD, and other drugs were used in some of Gottlieb's most notorious studies. Gottlieb is one of the most insane scientists with unstoppable power. Number 5. Carney Landis. Carney Landis was a psychology graduate at the University of Minnesota who decided to study human emotions. In his experiment, Landis hoped to spot commonalities between human reactions to various triggers. What made Landis a mad scientist, and what led many to call him an unethical psychologist, was how he executed his experiment. In the experiment, Landis took pictures of his fellow students as they performed various acts. The more bizarre, the better. Some activities included smelling ammonia and sticking hands in buckets filled with the slimiest frogs and electric shock wires. The only saving grace in this story is that Landis never massacred another rodent as he went along to practice sexual psychopathology. Number 4. Johann Conrad Dippel. Dippel was a notorious resident of Castle Frankenstein, a hilltop castle that was the stuff of myth and legend. Dippel experimented with everything. The most peculiar ingredients for his elixirs included leather, ivory, blood, and horns stripped from human cadavers. Dippel claimed to have found a one-all cure for all ails, from epilepsy to common colds. He was obsessed with soul transplants. Dippel had the brilliant idea that one could transfer a soul from one corpse to another using lubricant, a hose, and a funnel. Number 3. Jose Delgado. Delgado successfully developed technologies that manipulated the mind electrically using a brain chip. Like the movies, Delgado stimulated the neural tissues of monkeys, controlling them with nothing but remote control. Gradually, the mad scientist perfected the technology and used it on a bull. The experiment was incredible since he was able to stop the bull right before it charged straight for him. The experiments were so advanced that at least 20 humans were involved in his experiments. Envisioning the success of his technology, Delgado even bragged that generals and their armies would soon be controlled remotely through electric brain stimulation. Number 2. Robert Knox. Legendary comparative anatomy pioneer Robert Knox was also a professor, making him a dual role model. Knox unfortunately went to certain lengths that damaged his outstanding reputation, like all mad scientists do. Knox relied on 2 vendors because anatomy requires bodies, a key component. Demand surpassed supply at the moment, therefore Burke and Hare, 2 gentlemen, turned to murder to meet Knox's demands. The gentlemen were eventually caught up in the law because their adventures were too successful. Knox was indirectly involved in the 16-person murdering spree along with the dishonest body snatchers, according to investigations. Robert Knox's career was effectively ended by his chase of cadavers. Number 1. Ilya Ivanovich Ivanov. Ivanov created the strangest and creepiest hybrids as a Russian specialist in interspecific hybridization and artificial insemination. Ivanov even traveled to Guinea, West Africa, where he hoped to crossbreed humans and apes. Ivanov found it impossible to create a hybrid between humans and our ape relatives. Despite the failures of his ape-human project, Ivanov was successful in other ventures. He created a Z-donk, zebra-donkey hybrid, a zebran, bison-cow hybrid, a guinea pig rabbit, an antelope cow, and even a mouse rat. I really do hope you like this video. We'll have more videos soon. Keep in touch, people. Please leave a comment below if you have any requests or suggestions for videos I should do. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share it.